back to another episode of Lies My Vagina Told Me, the podcast where my vagina has a better resume than I do. And speaking of resumes, my next guest is truly a force of nature. He is a rock star, a songwriter, an actor, a radio guru, a marquis, and a mentor to so many people. But I just know him as the man who taught, well, the real star of this show, everything she knows. All thank you notes should go directly to him. Please welcome a living fucking legend, the one and only Michael DeBar. Woohoo! Welcome,
The
Michael.
Fucking Legends is the name of my next band.
Hello, you handsome devil. How are you, sir?
Top of the world, darling. Top of the world. I don't care what the world is, doing with itself, but I'm on the top of it.
I
That-
want to just tell everyone how I am lucky enough to actually know you, how you even got into my orbit. So many, many moons ago, I read this book called I'm with the Band,
yeah.
written by your most fabulous ex-wife, Miss Pamela DeBar. And as I was riveted, along with the rest of the world, by this book, I was transfixed by anything she wrote about you. And I used all my little witchy powers as a young girl to go, I'm going to meet that man. And I don't remember how we met. I know it was some wonderful Hollywood night at some Hollywood party. I don't remember, but I met you. I was 23 or 24. You were
18.
18,
Yeah.
that May, December. And and I was completely smitten. I looked it up on the internet, Michael. I was like, when did this happen? And it said Michael DeBar and Brigitte Bako dated from 1992 to 1992. So there you go, one of my longest. Oh my God. And I think we
Uh,
fucking crammed a lot of
well,
life.
our relationship has continued, also that's just,
It
nonsense
It, it is, but
online.
I was thinking back to what the fuck was happening in 1992. And I know one thing that we went through, which we thought at the time was the worst thing that could happen to our city and the country, the LA riots. Do you remember? We were held up in an
Yeah.
apartment during
Yeah.
the LA riots. And also remember one thing else. We went to a wedding in lockdown in the LA riots. You took me to the wedding of the lead singer of the
Beatles?
cult. The, not the Beatles,
Oh.
almost the cult. Do you remember that? We're in a lockdown. Oh, our world is so
Yeah.
crazy. And to make things even nuttier, the woman at our table at the wedding was Fawn Hall. I'm sure no one under the age of 102 knows who she was. She was in the whole Oliver North scandal. She was at
She
our
was
table.
great.
We
I love
shared
your conservatism gone crazy and sexy.
that. Yes, huh? Absolutely.
That's the thing. But it's great. Listen, friendships and stuff, it's very few that last.
Very few.
I've discovered that over the years, but the last 12 years of my life have been a microphone, but not here, screaming into it, but
Right?
talking into it to, millions of folks out there. I think there's a million people actually that listen to my show, but you and I have been friends through it, and that's good
It's
because
wonderful.
we both learned something. It's a chapter in one's life.
I got to grow with you guys. And I think about Miss Pamela, who's now one of my dearest friends and
Yeah,
my mentor and a teacher for our memoir writing class,
yeah.
that she just embraced me when you brought me to her. And I learned so much at the altar of the two of you. Never mind the people that I met through you guys as a young woman. I mean, I think we went to a movie with Pee Wee Herman. I spoke to Ozzy on the phone. I met Steve Jones. I mean, the legends that I met through you guys. But it was this love and openness and this incredible relationship that I said to her, you guys should write a book on divorce because no one's done it better. Such wonderfully supportive friends, and you spread that to all of us.
Actually, I'm not lucky. I don't believe in luck at all. I believe in a really good haircut, for one thing.
Me too, and
But
I need one. My hair is probably whiter than yours, little smoke and mirrors, but that's okay. I was saying, Mikey, just to say, like, you couldn't actually put in one episode of one podcast everything on your fucking resume because what you've accomplished, never mind before me, all the acting, all the TV shows, iconic from Seinfeld to Ellen to I mean all iconic. I think I went to your taping of your Seinfeld show and everything you did in rock and roll, which is like I watched you on Live Aid when I was 17 years old. I mean, it's crazy because I've been connected to you for so many years, even before I met you. But
Wow.
I think the most amazing thing for me is watching you in this part of your life and what you've grown into. First of all, could you tell me how that the radio show even came to be? I don't even know that story. How did it happen?
Well, it's one of the surprises and presence of social media, I would imagine. And I'm pretty articulate about the history of rock and soul music. And I knew Stevie Van Zandt because me and Jonesy had a band,
Yeah.
Steve Jones and Clem Burke, God rest his soul. It's a great band, Nigel Harrison and Tony Sales. And we opened for him. So we had an exchange. His
Oh,
wife Maureen thought I was, Errol Flynn. And so she and I adore this woman.
I
She's one
love
of the
her too.
biggest
Yeah.
people in the world. And so they were looking for somebody. Andrew Lou Golden was the DJ that was on the show on Stevie's Little Steven's Underground Garage, and they parted their ways. And Maureen said, get him. He's done everything."
He's done everything.
And he can talk about the music in his own way, which is what's great about Little Steven's Underground Garage. One is interpreting, but not, I'm not teaching.
Right.
I despise that. I'm holding hands,
But
you know.
Mikey, this is your gift because
Yes.
I discovered it during our little pandemica. I just discovered sort of where you were on your spiritual journey and through your posts, through your words of inspiration, because that was again what we thought was the worst thing we've ever experienced in this country. And you reached people and you reach people on the radio. My girlfriend, my best girlfriend, she's been going through the longest divorce in the world. And she told me the other day during her divorce, she would get in the car, drive around, listen to you on the radio, and you saved her life. Like, that's not a little thing. That's a huge, huge superpower and gift that you have. And
Yeah, it's just telling the truth, I mean,
no bullshit.
you're an actress, a brilliant actress. I say was an actor. I was so egoic for so many years because you've got to believe in and you're
Have to.
going into a rock and roll band in America and you're 19, or something, you really have to pull it together to be able to give everything you've got on that stage. And you want to shake and go back to the hotel, because it was an act.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, I mean, I was acting. I was acting
Right.
a front man, but I wrote all these songs, at the same time. But I'm convinced that there was some kind of other. I had like a co-writer who was clearly a ghost or a
Yeah.
spirit or something. You know what I mean?
Yes. The
But my head,
inspiration,
it's like,
how it comes. It's
yeah, there's some kind of spiritual connection with a co-writer. He doesn't get any money,
no, of course not.
but
That's the deal. But
it's,
that's the thing. You got to be completely authentically yourself. No, I mean, maybe there was still eyeliner, but no masks, just you, just everything that you went through leading you up to who you are that day. And the premise of this whole show is that I let my, vagina drive the car. Sometimes it was off a cliff,
yeah,
she took me on a
yeah,
ride. I was quite the romantic that decided to pick movie roles by that. But you can just be you on these platforms.
yeah.
And when you started to just be unstripped Michael with that microphone used in a different way, my God, like you
Well,
really,
you're not selling yourself. You're playing music and then sort of talking about it. It's not yours, it's not mine.
yeah.
And that really negated my egoic self, and I turned into somebody else 12 years ago. It's no
That was my next question. How long? 12 years?
12 years every day. Yeah, 2 weeks a year we have off, and I'm going to London. Anybody who's watching this, come see me. At
That's
Piccadilly Circus, I'll be naked.
good. Excellent.
So, yeah,
Sell out so fucking fast.
if you could say
No
vagina.
one's asking me to be naked anymore. I might pop one out. I might pop one out. They are definitely in semi-retirement. But
That's
that's amazing. I mean, I don't know because you're so intrinsically part of the rock and roll fabric of this world, but people don't know like you truly as a young man,
yeah.
you started acting was first for you. Was it?
Well, yeah, Sydney, I mean, I was in drama school. I'd done a couple of things on telly. And then James Clavell, the director of to Sell with Love, came and there we all were, all lined up like we were going to be shot or
Yeah.
something. It was so.
Right.
You've been through it. So, and he goes, get him because his cheekbones. And I'm forever grateful for my cheekbones. But he did say that, and I thought, God,
For your first film to be that iconic, and I remember you telling me about it many, many years ago, but like in
yeah.
retrospect, working alongside the great Sidney Poitier, did you take it all in at that age?
Yes.
Next, we are all going to observe certain courtesies in this classroom. You will call me Sir or Mr. Thackeray. The young ladies will be addressed as Miss, the boys by their surnames.
He changed my life, is what he did, Sidney Poitier. Absolutely. By the way,
Yeah.
black actor, three huge movies that year.
Yeah.
And he was the most generous guy in the world. I mean, beyond belief. People say that, oh, he was so sweet and kind on the thing. This guy was shoulders back, head held high, which I always say that's a total t-shirt vibe. And he was that. And I watched him like a hawk. I watched him. And he would be so kind. But and then they go action, and he wouldn't even do anything. He'd be just thinking about the scene as the character, as his character. If you watch his movies, there's a lot of nothing happening.
Yeah.
Think, no words. And then he goes into the dialogue that he's doing, and you believe every syllable. I thought, well, how do you do that? You know, well, I said, how do you do that? Afterwards, and because he had me in his trailer, he was teaching me because I was very erudite.
Incredible.
My whole thing in this boarding schools, I read every book. I could get my hands on it. Pretty literary aware. Sound like Cockney little, like all right,
Yeah.
like Jonesy. But Jones is even smarter than me, way smarter than me.
Well,
But with Portier there, with his again completely relaxed, but looking like this knight,
yeah.
this giant, wonderful character. And I just listened to the timbre of his voice, what it sounded like. And how do you get to that place where you're sending the vibe out? He's a teacher in a classroom, so doesn't he shout? Well, no, he didn't. And you really, you're an actress, you know that. And so, kids, if you want to put the books down
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
about 10 minutes left, he would say, "You what, put the books down now. You're free in
Right.
10."
And had such a command.
And everybody went,
That's power.
and just did what he said because it was like being taught. And I was being taught. To Sir with Love, he was the teacher of my career, that guy. And
That's
I saw him in LA and I would see him and I'd go, I love you, and I always will.
my
Uh,
God. I say that about Scorsese because it was my first job, but
absolutely.
this is how he directed me, Michael. He said, "You know that thing you did in the audition? Do that."
That's
I
so rare,
was like, "What?" Like
But
the
didn't
best.
it make you feel good though? And you felt, if I've done it once, I can do it again.
He did. He took all the pressure
Smart.
off. And at the time I thought that's direction, but he did. He had a way of just because I was terrified and
Well,
he just
yeah,
disarmed me.
brilliant,
He
brilliant.
just disarmed me. And we timed it the other day for an episode because I always say that 5 minutes changed my life, but we timed it and it was a minute and 20 seconds on
Well,
screen.
that's enough.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
enough. That's enough. You were in his presence. You were very young. You saw what time it was. You realized who
Yeah.
was good and who wasn't, who
Yeah.
you could learn from and who you don't need to listen to. All of those things, it's not just being gorgeous or being clever or any of that. It's just telling the truth.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I never went through a script. I didn't even read scripts because why would I want to know how it ended?
I feel the same way. I feel the same way, really.
Because
Yeah, I'd like to be
it's
surprised.
ridiculous. I want to be surprised and surprise myself. And I did that, and people said, "Hey, Michael, you really believe in that? Did that ever happen to you? What do you mean, kill three people? No,
Not
I
yet.
didn't rehearse that."
And then, of course, how do you even prepare? Like, obviously, you were in so many bands and you were on stage, but like when you got that call, that infamous call, another life, you get a lot of life-changing moments. But
Yeah.
to perform at Live Aid, I mean, how do you? And I just rewatched it, Michael. Like, wow, you were talk about cheekbones. Fucking wow, your presence, it was incredible. Like you'd been doing that stage and a billion people forever. How the fuck you just go? You just do it?
Billion and a half. So yeah, well, look, it was a fantastic thing. I'm in, I don't know where, somewhere with Don Johnson, my dear friend. He's making a movie, and I would go down and see him, and we'd have a laugh. And I got a phone call from a manager in New York saying, Michael, there's a band that really wants you to come and meet them because they have a tour and they'd like you to come to New York and suss it out. And so I said, what's the band? He said, I can't tell you. I said, well, in that case, you got to pay me. If you tell me who the band is, bank, then you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Well,
You
yeah.
know, then I'll come. He said, all right. So we did that. So I get on the plane, go to New York, get in a limo, go to this is all with no sleep, go to the office, go up the stairs, the elevator, walk into a room, John Taylor.
You didn't know? Oh, wow.
John Taylor, Tony Thompson, one of the greatest drummers of all time. Sly Stone so many amazing artists he played drums with, and John looking terrified, because this is millions of dollars at stake. 6 months or whatever it was the tour. By the way, it's coming out at Christmas.
What is?
The live album, double live album of me singing with these guys.
Now it's coming out now? Is
Yeah, yes, coming out. He called me about 2 weeks ago, John, and said, we were just going through tapes and we're going to put it out.
that's fucking
So, but the thing about the Robert Palmer, huge fan.
amazing.
I'm a huge fan of Robert Palmer. God bless him.
Yeah,
And I wish he hadn't gone so soon. But what happened was he, with the incredible vibe to the John and Andy Taylor Duran Duran party,
right.
that's a perfect timing for him to go do a solo album.
Yeah,
So he kind of left them in the earth,
yeah.
in the dirt.
And
And I'm being extremely dirty, got the gig and rehearsed the thing and did one show, and then we did Live Aid.
one show before Live Aid.
And I did 3 days.
That's incredible.
I learned 27 songs in 3 days. And then I went and did them in the biggest show of all time. And I just laughed my ass off. If you watch me now, I'm just having a
You're
very,
having the best time.
yeah, how could I lose anything here?
You were not terrified. I guess you don't have stage fright. I have very bad stage fright.
No, 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 no.
Really.
No, listen, if you're gonna get up there, you gotta believe in yourself. You know, Bridget, and you're a wonderful actress. And the thing about acting is that you're acting.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to stop acting when you're in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Hey, give me a sweet,
Yeah.
Diet Coke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to act out being a rock and roll star. I just felt like one. I weighed 130 pounds. I had the silk and satin on me, and I knew the songs backwards and forwards anyway. Because they didn't have enough songs, so we had to learn a lot of songs in rehearsals. But it was an amazing night. There's Jagger there, there's everybody there. Zeppelin is there,
A
Dylan is
butterfly.
there. And it was an incredible vibe backstage, Madonna, all of it. I mean, it's
It's absolutely
indescribable.
incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I think it's an anniversary or something this year,
Yes,
isn't it?
I think it was recently, but
Yeah.
then we all go back to the hotel, and all of them are staying in the same hotel. It was like living in some history book. Oh, Mick Jagger's gone for a coffee. Oh, really? I mean, that's nice. Could you ask him if you could get
Oh, can
him?
you get me one? Oh, wow.
I mean, it was amazing. But as the night went on, see, I'm now sober now. And down there in that,
You were sober during that time as well.
yeah, 1985 sober, and
Wow.
everybody's out of their minds. Everybody is out of their minds, and I can see it, and I can see how my iconic heroes would just turn into like
Right.
out, coked up kind of, and I learned so much about
Well,
the humanity of fame.
Michael, what a lesson. What a lesson from all the greats.
Yeah, right there. It was like going on a crash course in frontman world. It was just astonishing. And Dylan, Bob Dylan. I was on a couch with Dylan. Don Johnson had already flown in because he introduced the band to us. He was Elvis at that time,
Yes, absolutely.
and
Blonde Elvis.
and he loves Elvis.
Yeah.
But this couch was Mick and this one and Dylan and I'm going, ah, ah, ah. It was insane
Yeah.
because I'm a fan.
Right.
I'm a fan. Bob Dylan, uh, Mick Jagger. These people are iconic gods of rock and roll. So I was getting off just
Met
like,
your idols. You met your idols.
yeah, it was just a really good
And
person.
you were their peer, which is just absolutely incredible. I mean, but like, we talk about this with women. I mean, there are very few men that come on my show about the la vagine, but I think, there are certain men that truly understand this. And the thing is that women are always feeling the age, I can't do this at 40 or 50 or 60. Miss Pamela DeBar, who also just turned 77, on fucking tour for her one woman show and selling out. I mean, she's who we look to when I go, it's ageless. It never ends. And
Yeah.
it's just something in the DNA of the Day Bar family because, oh my God, it's just like you didn't peak at 30 or 40 I mean, maybe at 92 you'll finally reach it. I mean, not
No,
only do
definitely
you,
not.
no, you'll
Definitely
still keep going.
not.
I mean, this documentary which was brilliant. Who do you want me to be? If people haven't seen it, they should rush out and fucking see it now. It's so brilliantly done. We meet your beautiful wife, Britta, in this documentary. And just like the history of where you came from. Yes, you are the 26th or the 27th Marquis de Bar, which
I'm the 26th Marquis.
26th Marquis de
Yeah.
Bar. I mean, fucking royalty. Like they say that about a lot of rock stars, but in your case, it's true. It's
Yeah,
true.
it's amazing. I mean, before
It,
me, all of the Dave family, you can read about it.
it's
I read a lot about it when I was a youngin, when I was in boarding school, I think
yeah,
I
yeah.
was thrown away at 8 years old, and into these schools, and I couldn't come home in the vacations. So I had to stay in the schools for years. And I read every book I could get my
That's why
hand
you're
on.
so fucking brilliant, Michael. I mean, the
I
brain.
tried to find information of that family, and they were all like vicious, duelists and
Well, of the time.
Errol Flynn rock and roll, and
Yeah.
I was just read everything I could, every book I could get my hands on. And
That's
then I left at 16, and within 3 weeks I was into Sail with Love, bang, boom.
bang boom. That's how it happens sometimes when it's meant to be. You can't even name all the TV shows, all the albums, all the experiences, all the stage performances. I do really believe that the greatest gift that has come through all these because you have lived through all of this. Like you are living proof you can get through everything and anything with grace, with humility. Um, it's you have just like enhanced my life. I know a million plus people, if not more, on the radio. I mean, that's a small country worth of people that you have influenced. And I just think that you're ageless, you're timeless, and you're a gift, Michael. You're a gift. You're a
Oh,
gift to young people going through rehab right now that can't see a way out of it. You're a gift to all of us who don't know how to manage what we're in at the moment. It is so easy to just go dark and not see a way out. And I listen to you or I watch a post or something. I read something of yours almost every day. Like you're one of those books, that the daily prayer. What's Mikey have to say today about what the fuck is happening?
yeah, well, it's pretty simple. I mean, all the great philosophers just sat there with a big smile on their face, and and it's a vibe, it's an energy. It's not even literate. You can tell from people who they are without them speaking. And I don't. To me, it's a joyous life. I'm hiding from no one. Why? How can I do that? Well, there is no yesterday. There certainly is no tomorrow. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do right now? What's most important? All right now, as that brilliant band Free did with Paul Rogers, who's the greatest vocalist ever. And and that's what I do. I'm in the moment right here with you, and that's a beautiful place to be.
I'm not there yet, Mikey. Did it take you 50 years to figure that out? You weren't always, right? When did it click? When
Well,
did it click?
I I'll tell you exactly when I fully realized that I wasn't the most important person in the world. I'm being silly about it, but you know what I mean, was getting on the radio. What am I doing on the radio? I'm playing other people's music.
Right.
I'm talking about other people's worth, how brilliant they are. And
Yeah.
by worth, I mean, in character and performance and writing and all of that, what it takes to get a song, especially today for you youngins out there, you can do it. You can do it. If you
Yeah.
believe in yourselves, you will be successful and you will enjoy your life. But it has to be coming from your heart. It
It
can't be
has to.
coming from your manager.
No, it
It's
cannot be
all
coming from your
about,
manager.
and
It,
it's only three chords, my loves. That's all it is. Something pretty catchy. I could,
it's
wow, did
God.
you hear
It's God calling.
that? What cosmic was that?
I don't know. That's crazy.
Hang on, it's God. 1 second.
Yes, I What's
Your
he,
manager,
what's
right?
she have to say, Mikey? What's she have to say?
Yeah.
But okay, yes, you're playing other people's music and talking about the greats, but you also put out an album. How many weeks is your rock and roll album been on the fucking charts?
A year.
Is
I can't
it?
even
It's
believing you
crazy.
asking me that because this is indie stuff. I'm not out there with a late
I get
record deal.
it.
I don't have
But
a record deal, but I wanted to do songs from the 70s because the 70s were, I know Slade and Bowie and Bolan and, forget about it.
yes,
Unbelievable the 70s when, I started 72 in a band. Look, I'm going all Cockney now because of
I know it just happens.
but that album has been selling and has been and what people have done is they have it for parties.
Really?
So they play the whole album with a 70s consciousness. I've had letters saying we're wearing, flared trousers, we all have bangs and eyeliner, and
Yes.
and Ziggy Debar, there is fantastic Debar dust. Um,
Dave
but it was
Stardust.
I'm just so excited. It's a year.
That's
It's a year,
incredible.
Bridget. It's a year, and it's been out there, and it's
So
lovely.
you made this fucking album at what, 75?
I did it at 75. I was 75, 75.
Ladies and gentlemen,
No, I was
ladies and
70.
fucking
Yes,
gentlemen, it's
75.
crazy.
Yes. But I know those things backwards and those songs, and I never lost my voice.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's
No,
good.
you never have, and many of the greats, God bless them, have. Their voices have changed, and yours is
You
not.
know why? It's breathing. You've done those things to be able to really be a terrific actress with a great voice. It's a voice. It's terribly important, and
It is.
I worked like crazy doing that. So when I was doing the songs, I was enjoying every second of it. We did it in 3 days.
What?
3 days. 12 songs, 3 days.
Because that's how they did it in the 70s. They didn't take 6 months to make an album, correct? They just got in there.
No, no. I was on Zeppelin's label and it took us a year. Why? Because you're in the record plant, Coke, there was a little, swimming pool back
Need
there,
time for Coke and swimming. Yeah.
Coke swimming, and that was 2 months there. And then the bass player went to Jamaica. Whatever. I mean, I'm just there living here, but it took us a year to make that. Jimmy Page, and God bless him, he paid for it and everything. And Detective, I called it defective, but it was okay. And we were all out of our heads, and we didn't
Wow.
really get along that well, But I
Wow.
thought, oh, this would be good because Silverhead was so great, but we broke up for whatever reasons I can't remember. I
Right.
guess because they were all in England, and I'd met Miss Pamela, and I wanted to live with her and stay with her and be with her
Understood.
in Los Angeles, and they wanted to go back to London. What do you mean you want to live here? I don't want to live here.
Yeah,
What you
yeah.
talking about,
Yeah,
Michael?
yeah.
Let's go back to fucking London.
Yeah.
You know, I sound like
But Mikey, listen, like again, the show is about all the sort of decisions, bad decisions, wrong turns, whatever, misguided. I believe that every fucked up decision I've ever made has led me to who I am today. So I've no 0.0 regrets. And you turned all this fabulous trouble into a legendary career. You have no regrets on anything, do you? I mean, look where
No,
you.
no, no, because it's very simple. If you didn't get sell the record, if you didn't hit the top, the top 10 and all of that stuff, that's a lesson right there. It's also something that you can't fight. You can't fight something that exists.
Right.
You know what? The only thing that exists is you right here, right now. And I've said it 1,000 times. And every philosopher that I've read, and that is a lot of philosophers, Krishnamurti,
Yes.
they're all saying, well, this is the only moment we've got, so we might as well dig it. I don't think he used the word dig it,
No, he
but
should
he
have.
could have. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Why are you digging? Don't dig.
I just think you're a crazy ass inspiration to all of us. And as I've known you, and as the years have gone on, more and more and more and more inspirational.
In terms of what you're doing now, you're giving of yourself. That's a great gift. That's the best gift you could ever give to anyone is you, yourself. And I feel the same way. What the advantage I have is it's not my music. I'm
Yeah,
talking about somebody else's music. So therefore I can divide myself from saying, oh, well, I did this and then I did that and then I met him and then I met her and then she met me
yeah,
and whatever. It's bullshit. I'm playing music. Elvis right here, and
yeah.
Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker and Sam Cooke and Otis Redding and the Stones and the Beatles. All great soulful music, new bands playing unbelievably cool music. To say rock and roll is dead is simply like saying there are no more Catholics. Catholics are all gone. There's no,
Yeah, they've left
it's
the
an
building.
absurdity.
Yeah,
It's you've got a hot tap and a cold thing, and I'm sorry, there's no cold anymore. It's just all hot.
yeah.
It's like an absolute absurdity to say rock and roll is gone. That is extremely annoying.
When you go to England, are you doing a show live? Are you doing a radio show there?
Let's talk about it. I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Really. Uh, I've been asked to, be interviewed there,
Yeah, of
BBC and so
course.
on and so forth. But, we're going to go and just be a regular couple, which is, but
Yeah,
there we are. And we'll have a lovely time together. And we'll go to Portobello Road and I'll buy every ring I can get my
as
hands
you should.
on.
Sounds
Well,
fucking
yeah,
wonderful. I think the lesson all across the board for all of us is we gotta live. We gotta live, live, live in the
yes,
moment.
Angela.
Love what we do,
Right.
mean what we say, try to be kind,
Yeah.
listen to music, because let me tell you, how do I prepare for this? I think I shook my tushy to a little Silk Sonic or something. I'm an R&B girl, so I always do that. I raise my vibration with music. Always have, always will.
Me
And
too. I mean, I'm totally, Otis, yes, Sam Cooke, yes, Temptations, yes. I mean, the funk and Aretha, come on. So all of that, if we play, I mean, that's what Stevie says. He says rock and soul music is
rock and
rock and
soul.
roll music. It's rock and soul music because we play both of those things. And there's a lot of young bands that are there that are great. Will they ever make it? Probably not, but don't even think like that, you guys out there, you girls out there, every in
No,
between.
that's not what that's not the that's not the goal.
No, that's not the
Yeah.
aim. The aim, the target is you. The
Yeah.
target is you learning, no yesterday, no tomorrow. Here you are playing, you plugged in, your amp blew up, so what?
So what?
The audience will think it's something fantastic. They'll all scream and yell and buy you an amplifier. Things happen that are meant to happen. You can't go, I can't believe that on my first job fell over and broke my skeleton. It's everything is you should accept everything. The real thing about being good at something is don't think it's good. Think that you've done it all your life. You were born with this. This is easy.
Right.
You believe in yourself. That's why drugs come into the picture because you're just not satisfied with who you are. So
Yeah.
you think drugs are going to take you higher, and they do take you higher, but they take you a lot lower
Yes.
within a matter of months. So, I mean, it's so obvious to me because, I've been sober 44 years. I was
Wow.
a hardcore coke freak, and all the rest of it. And I haven't had a drug or a drink in 44 years. You
That's incredible. If I had to do that with like carbs, I couldn't do it because I never did drugs. I missed that whole thing. I'm one of
Yeah,
the rare,
good.
I don't have pure steers and I never did drugs. I'm not normal. But yeah, but I don't know if I'd give up a French fry for 44 years. I probably should. I feel like even though I was slightly younger, I got to watch you grow over these years. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean? I've just seen what you've emerged into, and it's just beautiful. And I thank you for doing this podcast with
of
me
course.
because you are one of my living idols, as a friend, as a mentor, as a voice of goodness, and you bring so much to the world. It's more than all the culminations of all the things that you've done, all the music, all the acting, all the work. What you bring, in my opinion, is this spiritual voice to the masses, and we need it. And I thank you for it. I do. I thank you for it. And I
Ah,
just
it's been
adore you.
delightful. It's been delightful. I mean, I think of it not as the masses. I think of it as just one being. I'm talking to one being, and then I can get it more intimate.
I
When you
love
talk
that.
about the world, good luck, and you be kind, you be cool, and you be courageous. And God bless you. I've had a
God bless you, my love. Thank you so much. Lies My Vagina Told Me is hosted by moi, Brigitte Bako, produced by Jacques Telemac and Leah Sherman, artwork by Leah Sherman, theme and original music by Jack Moore for balletguitar.com. See you next time on Lies My Vagina Told Me.